All right, peace and bliss, family. Peace and bliss. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of, let's see, the ANSOTH Hour. It may not be an hour, but that's the amount of time that I've allocated. And we're going to say what needs to be said, give you this week's episode, and then we're going to sign off. I want to welcome you to another episode, as I said, of Fighting Blight. I'm Brother Tinka, and I am the founder of ANSOTH, which stands for New Society on the Horizon. We are a community-driven real estate development company, and our mission is to transform undeserved neighborhoods into thriving communities. Now, we do this in a number of ways, but basically we do it by educating our target area. We do it through land acquisition, revitalization, and community ownership. And I'm going to do a little housekeeping. As always, we want to appeal to our brothers and sisters to go out and purchase a blighted property, okay? If you can't do it alone, then go out and, call a family member or friend or associates. It could be one of those individuals or all of them. Just go out there and purchase a blighted property, and just do your part, right? Know this, that, as far as this game of life, okay, the only reason that other people are winning is because we have not entered the race. I'm going to say that again. The only reason that others are winning is because we have not entered the race. And so we need to get involved, and we need to be about the business. All right. The capital city, Jackson, Mississippi, the capital city is 82% New Africans. So it's okay for us to own 82% of the reputable businesses in the capital city. Okay. So go out and create a business. Go out and start your own business. And you got to understand that action does not always bring success, but rest assured there's no success without action, okay? And let's stop putting this spell on ourselves, talking about what we ain't gonna do, all right? So if you want to get involved with our fight against blight, please go to ANSOTH.com, and that's ANSOTH.com. Whether you just want to report blight, if you want to be a real estate enthusiast, or maybe you already have your business, you're already in the business, and you want to increase your sales or increase your revenue or your bag, connect with us. You may want to become a subcontractor, a vetted subcontractor with us. Connect with us. You may just want to share your energy about blight and what your ideas of how we can win against this fight against blight, right? Just if that fits your any one of those categories, just go to ANSOTH.com, fill out the little form, and press get involved, and then we will get back with you. All right. So we have some great information tonight, as always. And as we deal with this thing that's called blight, why it matters, why it matters to everyone, to every household, why this blight matters, okay? And just just right off the shoot, because and I almost sound like the Matrix. The when it says, the Matrix is all around, Neil. Blight is all around us, right? It is everywhere around us, especially in the undeserved communities where you will find blight the most. You see it when you drive down Meggett Everest, Woodrow Wilson, Bailey Avenue, Northside Drive, even the part toward between North State Street and, well, actually as you get past right by Watkins, Bailey Avenue on up there to Meggett Everest, okay, you're going to see blight. And we have it all over areas where we find, for the most part, new Africans, all right? And so when you walk past boarded up homes, all right, when you notice overgrown lots and abandoned buildings, you know that blight is an ugly thing. We already know that. It's dangerous, it's costly, and it's the thing that's holding us back from building that generational wealth in terms of real estate, okay? But here's the good news. Blight is not permanent, and I firmly believe that, if today we decided that we're going to really address the issue of blight and not just talk about it, but we're going to really fight this blight thing. We have it in our minds. It would be over with within 1 year. I would even say it would be over with in 6 months, right? But the thing about it is that there is an invested interest. There are people or companies that actually benefit from the blight issue. Let me explain. So we already know, so you have to understand the math. We already know that there's a huge struggle for Jackson, Mississippi, the capital city, okay? Jackson, Mississippi contributes more to the revenue of the state than any other municipality, than any other town, or city, or country, or whatever you want to say. The dollars are here, right? The tax dollars and whatnot, but there is a huge struggle for Jackson. And so rather than to build it up all over, the powers to be, the system, whichever you want to call it, would rather see it fall down more and more, and then they come in and buy it. As a matter of fact, there are already entities that are already purchasing. They're already purchasing property all over the city of Jackson, okay? And so, but they are looking, investors are looking to even cause it to go down even further, right? And so why pay 100% of something when you can pay 2%? So that is the thing, to let it fall as far as it can, the less, that investors come in and buy it up and all that good stuff. So that's the opportunity for them. Now, the opportunity for us is that there's still 4,200 blighted properties in Jackson. And we have to be about that business of acquiring them. So that's why we say, blight is not permanent. It can be turned into opportunity, right? And some people are turning it into opportunity, because they're getting in there and they're purchasing their property and then they're holding. It's just like putting money in the bank, right? It's like putting money in the bank and waiting, or investing money in a company and you're waiting for that investment to grow. Mark my word, 10 years from now, the average Jacksonian will not be able to afford to live in Jackson. And you know, I started out saying 10, 15, 20 years, but I've been told that it's not even going to take that long. Okay, it's not even going to take that long, and here relatively soon in your lifetime, you will see a transformation. The same transformation that you see down there in the Fondren area in Eastover, Belhaven, Millsap, all of that. And if you all are in tune with, proposals that have been proposed to the city, of there being water walks and all this stuff, that's coming. There's too much money to be made in Jackson to continue to allow it to just flow on past. So there is a huge opportunity to transform this blight situation into wealth, okay? And that's what ANSOTH is all about. We're transforming blight into beauty, into homes, into businesses, into community, right? Right now we have neighborhoods, but we want to build communities. And we understand that a community owns and operates and manage whatever space, okay? They control the economics, they educate their children, things of that nature, all right? So over the next couple of minutes, we're going to break it down as we have always. We're going to break it down what blight really is, how it affects your life, and what steps you can take, we can take to together to fight blight, okay? So settle in and let's talk about some truth. Let's get some clarity and understand the vision, all right? So let's talk about what is blight. And we have to say this over and over and over and over and over again until it sticks, right? Blight is when property is so neglected that it starts dragging down everything around it. Maybe it's the roof caving in, okay? Maybe it's the grass that's is high grass, it's about three plus feet, okay? Maybe it's the busted out windows and covered up plywoods over the windows. Maybe it's the trash and old tires and broken furniture dumped on a lot. It could be one of those things, or it could be all of those things, okay? But blight isn't just about appearance, okay? Blight represents a broken system. That's really what it's about. It's a broken system. It's failed investment, weak, W-E-A-K, weak code enforcement, okay? And sometimes the result of people just giving up. People have seen, when you've seen something for so long, you tend to think that, okay, well, that's just how it is, and you have to accept it for being that. But that is so far from the truth, okay? In Jackson, Mississippi alone, as you oftentimes heard me say, there's 4,200 blighted properties, okay? Think about that number. 4,200 addresses. That's 4,000 chances for crime to take root. 4,200 reasons businesses stay away, okay? That's 4,200 spots where children see decay instead of promises, okay? That's 42 negative things that our people have to look at, okay? So blight is like a disease. It is a disease. It's one laden with a mental, let's just say it's a disease, right? And if one house on the block is sick, eventually it spreads, okay? That's why it matters to every household to get involved with this fighting blight issue, all right? Even if you live in a decent house, if one of the house next door is boarded up, your property value drops. If one house on your street is used for illegal activity, okay, your property value is going to go down. I know we get into the habit of saying, oh, that's not my problem. They over here, I'm over, they're over there, and I'm over here. Well, you're losing money. Just straight up, you are losing money. All right. So illegal activities, your house, your children are less safe. Anytime you have a blighted property on your street, on your block, in your neighborhood, okay, that is an unsafe environment. Okay. Um, if enough houses, sit empty, the whole neighborhood loses spirit. And that's why as soon as people, get their bag up, first thing they say, you know, we moving, we moving. And they will move, people will move into another area, okay? And they will bust their backside to make those payments in another area. You're trying to keep up with the Joneses when you can put in half the effort, okay? And investing in that property next door to you, making sure it's groomed properly, making sure it's taken care of, and you can put a family in there that can't afford their own house that they have to rent, and you can just take one family, educate them on the blight and what it does, and bring them up, okay? Then they can move out of your house, and they can go and buy their own house, okay? And then they can do the same thing you did with them, okay? So, but our people is settled with, keeping up with the Joneses, you know, rather than taking the bull by the horn and say, hey, financially, I'm better off if I just buy that house next to me, okay, and fix it up and whatnot. But nevertheless, blight is everybody's problem. And that's why, we're here to talk about not just the problem or what it does, but we want to also talk about solutions, okay? Now, let's talk money. Blight hits your pocketbook in three ways, okay? One of three ways. First, your home value. If your house is worth $100,000, all right, and you've got blight nearby you, the value of your home could drop 10,000, 20,000, even more. The value of your home could drop that amount, that much, okay? That's wealth stolen from your family, wealth that should be passed down. And just think about it. I'm pretty sure that we all have, most of us have bills, right? Most of us have bills. And so, therefore, if we would fix that property next door to us, save that $10,000, $20,000 that we would normally lose, okay? And let's say now we can pull equity out of that house to go in and purchase another house, that house next door, okay? Oh, people, sisters and brothers, that's a power punch, okay? But yeah, so your wealth, when there's blight next to you, you're unable to pass it down, okay? The second thing is loss in tax revenue. When properties sit empty, the city doesn't collect taxes, okay? When property is just sitting there, there's no one living there, the city is losing taxes, okay? Because they're not collecting the taxes on it, and that's why you have a lot of tax sales. Now that means that less money for schools and parks and police, you know, you know, if there's blighted properties next to you, the city is losing tax revenue, okay? Instead of investing in growth, we're paying for decay. Instead of investing in growth, we're paying for decay, okay? Third way, the waste of city resources. Jackson spends millions of dollars mowing overgrown lots, and they boarding up houses, and then they have this initiative of demolishing abandoned houses. Okay, that's in the millions. That's taxpayers' money. That's your money. Okay, that you could be used. That could be used. Okay, instead of tearing something down. The same money that they're putting into the same resources, the capital that they're using to board up houses, to cut the grass, to demolish them, they can use that same money to build instead of tearing down. Okay? So instead of you putting the money to parks and swim, and listen, how many swimming holes, swimming pools are there, public swimming pools that we have in the city of Jackson that's not being utilized? They're closed down because the city don't have money. Yeah, that right there. Okay? So those resources, the resources is not there for a number of reasons, but part of those reasons is because the tax base revenue that's collected, that would be collected from the city, is not being collected, okay? But here's the bigger cost, okay? The cost of reputation, okay? When outsiders drive through and see boarded up homes, they say, this area is unsafe, automatically. Then they say, well, the community is abandoned and stuff like that. You know, those are lies, right? We know that they're straight up lies. But blight makes it believable. You understand it? Blight makes it easier. When people see blight, you know, they don't even want to come through the capital city, especially in our areas, where there's a pandemic of blight. Okay? And so, so here's the thing. All right. All right. Teddy. All right. We're just going to let Teddy do his thing. Okay. And so the real cost of blight, is that it steals our story. Okay. It steals our story. And family, ANSOTH is here to rewrite the new one. Okay, we're here to rewrite the new story. Okay, but we're talking about cost. Let's think about it. There is, if you talk about 4,200. Minute. Teddy, sit. Okay. If you talk about 4,200, if let's take for instance 4,200 blighted properties, and let's say, right, hush, Teddy, and let's say each of those homes has a return market value of $75,000. Okay, that is $315 million in lost asset. 315 million. So now if you take that same 315 million, I think the calculator is like, so if you have a property value and of 2.35%, and it collects 2.35% in property taxes, that's going to put you at $7.4 million a year that the city loses because of this blighted property. And that's a real conservative computation. Okay, it's really more than that. Okay, let's think about from the resident perspective. If it would take that same house payment of $75,000, okay, $75,000. Let's say 4,200 homes. are now homeowners. You just say it, okay? Just deal with me here. You could be paying on a $75,000 mortgage. Your payments will be going to be anywhere between $500 and $600 or $700 easily. Okay. But what happens is that when we don't take advantage of this blight issue in those situations, we got to now go out and get rent, pay someone else's mortgage. And we're going to pay in Jackson anywhere from $900 to $1,200 a month as a renter. Come on, man. What they say? Stop playing, y'all. Stop playing. Okay? Because we're not taking advantage of this opportunity, we're paying upwards of $1,200 in rent to where we can be paying $500 or some odd dollars a month as a mortgage. And if we wanted to go ahead and pay it off, we can go ahead and pay it off in a relatively short period of time, 10 years. I mean, so this is the cost of blight, okay? Now, blight attracts crime. It's no secret, and it destroys safety. Let's deal with another truth about blight. It attracts crime, all right? Vacant homes become haven for drugs, prostitution, and gang. That's just the truth. Dark lots become dumping grounds. You know, they've got they got these cameras set up to where they're exposing people that goes to an empty lot and start dumping trash. The city is looking for those people, but they did a good thing to put those cameras out there. So, so the people starting to dump trash there. Okay, boarded up stores invites break-in. You know, you got a store that's boarded up, people are gonna break in there, they're gonna tear it down, they're gonna knock the boards down and all that. And when crime takes root, families suffer. Okay, children can't play safely on the block. Okay, seniors become prisoners in their own home. That is a fact. The presence of one blighted property increases the chance of illegal activity on the street. Okay, and this is what it does. It sends a message. Okay, nobody cares. But here's the truth: we do care. We just hadn't figured out a way to solve the problem. At least most of us haven't. I'd say 95% of us have not figured out the way. All right. So, and that's why fighting blight is more than construction. It's about educating our people. And I'm telling you, once our people understand it, once they get it, they've got it. And then we took, there's a lot of things that we took on that was meant for negativity. You know, the N-word. We've owned that. And so now it's making people millions through songs and rapping and all that. So anyway, so it's about restoring safety, restoring a peace of mind, and restoring dignity to our people, to our neighborhoods, to our community. All right, so I also want to talk about the health hazards of blight. And this is the same thing that we've talked about. We're just saying it in a different way. We're just laying it out in a different way. Because you can only talk about stuff for so long to where you have to repeat it over and over again. But it's like that bad song that you hate. It had a good beat. It has a good beat. You hate it so much, they played it so much until that song can come on and you tapping your feet, thumping, not bobbing your head. This is what we got to do. We've got to educate, educate, educate. Okay, and so blight is also a public health issue. Abandoned properties attract pests, rats, mice, snakes, mosquitoes. Trash piles up and creates breeding ground for disease. That's right. Mold grows in vacant homes and spread through the air. I actually went and viewed a vacant property, and the property is actually empty, but it's been empty for so long. Okay, to where there was roof damage on the property. There's a leak in the ceiling. It started raining in there. Now mold is setting up, and the wood is deteriorating. You know, when you don't live in the house, and you're not in there to live in it, to breathe in it, to open and closing the doors, and it stays packed in, and you're not taking care of the problems. You know, a $5 fix can come $1,000,000 repair. A $5 fix that you could have done can lead to thousands of dollars in repair. Okay, so these are just ugly problems, and they're life-threatening. Mold can kill you. All right, mold can kill you. So when these houses are becoming infested with mold and all this, and you know, you got mold on the outside and the wind blows, those spores can attach to you, get in your nostrils, get on your skin, and you're going to have some health issues. And so that's why, you know, you should not just look at blight as you know, the next person's issue, especially when it's next door to you. When neighborhoods is surrounded by blighted properties, asthma rates rise, stress level goes up, right? And the overall health of an individual decline. The overall health of a family can decline. Blight makes us sick. And that's one reason why it has to go. It's got to go. Okay? And everything that exists wants to exist. Everything that exists, it wants to exist. It's not just going to go on its own, right? We have to get it together to where we can eradicate it, okay? So from blight to bright, okay? So what's the solution? How do we move from blight to bright, okay? It starts with what I say every time I come on, is that that we want to encourage you all to go out and buy a blighted house, okay? And we do that because we just discussed of all of the pitfalls of a blighted property, okay? So it starts with a vision, okay? I would not try and convince you that it's all about money. I promise you, money is the least worry. It's not about the money. If you have the money and don't have the vision, that's a problem. And there was this person that my daughter sent me some information about this news clipping about this brother doing some great work over there in South Jackson, and I'm gonna reach out to him. And then, but there was someone that said they had bought 25 houses and they put over $500,000 into it, and it was messed up. So that lets you know that it has to be from a holistic approach. You got people putting money into these properties and wanting you to make them rich, but yeah, we don't need that wealth taken out of our community anyways, okay? And if you think it's all about money, you got another thing coming. And so I would not mislead you all into thinking that it's all about the money. You have to have the right mindset, the right vision in order to make this thing happen. Okay? But nevertheless, so you have this vision. You don't look at another abandoned property and see decay. But what you see is an opportunity. If that's the vision that you have and you really have a sincere heart about combating the problem, don't see it as an abandoned property. See it as an opportunity, okay? And you know, the first step is clean up the lot, right? Just clean the lot up, okay? Mow the grass, haul the trash off, board up the windows, and that's a fast win right there, okay? Then the second thing you want to do, you want to secure the property. You know, you want to light it up. You know, you want to fence it. You know, if you need to fence it in or lock in or put on locks on the doors, you know, you want to make it safe. All right. The third step is rehabilitate. You know, you want to take that property and then you want to start rehabbing it. You know, you want to fix the roof, the plumbing, electrical, whatever it needs. You know, that's part of the renovation. Put some paint on it, repair some boards, broken boards, and paint it and things of that nature. For, you know, so the third part is just really just you know, after you've acquired it and whatnot, then put the money into it. You know, gather the money up. I guarantee you, there's a lot of money out there that we are spending and we don't even know that we're spending. You know, postpone that bottle of liquor. What's that liquor that that young folks love drinking? Creek. What's that that liquor? Nautica. I don't know. Whatever it is, I forgot what it is. But save it. You know, save that money and purchase your blighted property. Well, you done fixed it, and now you need to reactivate it after you done fix it. Okay. Get families back inside of that property. Get business. If it's a commercial building, then rent that building out for a business. The objective is to get life back into the block. Okay. Now each step builds momentum. Each house that you save, it inspires the next one, and the next one, and the next one. Okay. Each time you do it, it's going to get easier and easier. I guarantee it. This is what ANSOTH is about. We don't dream of better. We build it, you know, brick by brick, block by block, and we fight back, okay? We fight back. Now, the role of the community. Now, let's be clear. This fight isn't just about contractors like me or real estate developers like ANSOTH. It's for all of us, okay? This fighting blight is for all of us, every last one of us, okay? The community is the first line of defense. Neighbors report the issue, and this is what we tell you about. You know, if you want to just report it, go to ANSOTH.com. If you just want to report it, you know, contact your local churches and ask that they, or your local church, you know, and ask that they adopt a lot or two, okay? And then get the young people around you to help clean up the lots, okay? As I told you, I was looking at this property on yesterday, and when I was leaving out, I saw a group of young people, and I thought about, you know, just reaching out to them and say, hey, you know, I'm thinking about purchasing this property. Y'all want to make some money and help me fix it up, but my kind of time just ran out, okay? But that's what it's about. We got to get the young folks, young people involved, you know, as young as they. There's no one that's too young or too old, but some people think they are, and we have to change that. We have to change that paradigm for them. We have to help them to understand that you're not too old or you're not too young. You know, you are just as important as any one of us. And this is what family do. They handle their business. Okay? So when we unite, Blight cannot win. When we unite, Blight cannot win. And that's what ANSOTH stands for, a new society on the horizon. Okay? Together, we are that society. Together, we take back our streets. So tonight, we've covered the basics of Blight. And I just want to encourage y'all, sisters and brothers, as I always said, is if you go out and purchase a blighted property, and if you can't do it alone, find a family member or friend, and you go out and do it together. Okay? Let's stop putting spells on ourselves, saying what we ain't gonna do. Okay? When people say what ain't gonna happen and all this, just walk away. They're not even worth talking to. Okay? That's the mindset that we have to have. And we cannot change blight unless we first change our minds. Okay? And he said that action does not always bring success. But rest assured, there's no success without action. So, as I said, go to, if you want to report blight, you want to report a blighted property, go to ANSOTH.com. Fill out the form, press submit or get involved, and we'll contact you. If you are a real estate enthusiast, if you are a subcontractor, okay, if you are a subcontractor and you want to be vetted, one of our vetted subs, go to ANSOTH.com, fill out the form, click get involved. Real estate enthusiast, maybe you want to be a community connector, all right? Go to ANSOTH.com. Fill out a few questions, take you just a minute, and submit, get involved. That's how you connect. Hey fam, y'all stay positive, walk in peace, walk in love. I'm Brother Tinker, and I'm out. Peace.